The 70s in the Western world were a time of significant cultural shift, with the disco rising, bell bottoms, and punk rock. Most importantly, it is in the context of this video, integrated bracelet watches, where the bracelet appears seamlessly connected to the watch case, became popular in the 1970s. Iconic examples like Audemars Piguet, Royal Oak 1972, and Patek Philippe Nautilus, it was 1976, both designed by Gerald Genta, were among the first to embrace this design. Today, those watches cost way too much and are way above the pay grade of many, but what's common is the love for beautiful integrated bracelet designed watches. That's why when Tissot introduced PRX in 2021, it was a modern update on their 1978 Tissot PRX 40205 design. 4 years later, it is still one of the Tissot's most sought after watches. Honestly, Tissot PRX is one of the most common watches I have seen on many wrists out there. When it comes to wristwatches, we value different aspects of a watch as unique individuals. For some, it's the movement, for others, it's aesthetics, but of course, one of the most important factors is price, unless you're Bill Gates, obviously. Without spending a couple of grand, we can get an impeccable finish, a beautiful bracelet, a gorgeous dial, and a timeless integrated bracelet design, and a Swiss-made luxury feel. When Andrew from Christopher Ward reached out to me after watching my review on Christopher Ward Sealander, I did not long ago on this channel, he asked if I would be interested in any other Christopher Ward's watches that I would like to experience and make a review. At first, I thought I should do one of their models which has less coverage. And so I did as any responsible YouTuber would. Selfishly, I asked for the 12. I had to go with my heart. I have always had an undeniable love for Christopher Ward's the 12. Okay, before we start with the specs of this watch, I wanted to give you an update on the giveaway we did in my previous video. The giveaway is still open. If you haven't entered, click on the corner somewhere on this video or on the description to enter giveaway. But we will bring the alien guy, Dr. Vendus Siegel, to announce the winner on my next watch review video, which should be soon in a week or so. Okay, let's get into the specs of this watch. When I first got the 12 in 38, what struck me wasn't just how it looked, but how well it fit. The specs feel like they were chosen by someone who actually wears watches. Christopher Ward does a fantastic job designing their watches, from small details to the watch's functionality. Some hate on Christopher Ward watches for their design, which looks similar to other popular watches. But hey, all great art comes from a little bit of inspiration from other artists' work. Me personally, I really appreciate their design work. We get great looking watches in this price range. We are looking at a case diameter of 38 millimeters, not too big, not too small, that sweet spot for many wrists, especially if you lean toward a more classical fit. At just under a 10 millimeter thick, this thing slips under a cuff like it was made to live there. The lug-to-lug distance here is just 43.3 millimeters, keeping the footprint compact and easy to wear. No lugs hanging out over the edge, even on the smaller wrists. With an integrated bracelet, the flow from the case to the strap is seamless. It weighs in at 157 grams with the bracelet, which is full stainless steel by the way. But somehow it doesn't feel that heavy. The bracelet tapers from 23 millimeters at the legs down to 17 at the clasp. There is 100 meters of water resistance, a screw down crown for security, and an anti-reflective sapphire crystal on the front, plus an exhibition case back with 6 exposed screws on the back. And that movement you see taken away through the rear, that's the Sellita SW200-1. Swiss-made 28,800 beats per hour, 38-hour power reserve, solid, dependable, and beautifully finished with a custom rotor. But for me, it's not just what the specs are, it's how they feel. This is a beautiful and comfortable timepiece on a wrist. Let's talk about dial. Let me tell you, if you go to Christopher Ward's site and start looking at their watches, it is hard to decide which one to get. because they're all so good. And then when you decide on a design for the watch you want, there are these beautiful colors to choose from, which is an even more challenging task as a watch lover. I would like them all. But that's just my greed talking. After a couple of days of contemplating between different colors, I decided on this one. It's not just blue, it's Nordic blue. And that name isn't just for the show. There is this soft shimmer to it, almost like sunlight reflecting off a frozen lake. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but man, it catches, it shifts ever so slightly depending on where you are. Warm inside lighting makes it look deeper, richer, while sunlight brings out this icy metallic tone that is super clean and modern. And then there is the texture. This isn't some flat printed dial, it's a 3D stamped pattern, a series of raised pyramid-like shapes that add depth. They're subtle. From arm's length, it just looks detailed, but get up close and it's like looking into an architecture. The indices are polished and applied. Each one is brushed on the top and polished on the beveled edges. The mix means they catch just the right amount of light. You don't get that mirror glare effect. Instead, you get this refined sparkle. They're filled with Super Luminova X12, clean white in the day, glowing blue at night. Now, the hands. They're perfect for this kind of dial. Simple, sharp, and well proportioned. You've got that long minute hand that hits the outer minute track and a bold hour hand that never gets lost against that pattern background. Both are brushed on one side and polished on the other. Just like the markers, it's a tiny detail, but it gives the whole dial a sense of movement, even when the watch isn't ticking. And then there is the logo at 12 o'clock, no brand name, no text, just the twin flags emblem. It's tucked right into the texture, it's just cool, understated, and clean. Down at 6 o'clock, there is a small date window. Same color as the dial, it's so discreet it barely registers unless you need it. And that's kind of the theme with the whole dial. It's not about showing off, it's about being stylish and clean. And maybe that's why I keep finding myself drawn to it. Every time I wear it, I see a change in how the light hits those raised patterns. It's not kind of a dial you get bored of. You know this case design. It is the same design family as AP Royal Oak and Tissot PRX. It's clean, angular, and surprisingly soft all at once. Sounds contradictory, I know, but that's how it feels. We're talking 38mm in diameter with a lug-to-lug of 43.3mm and a thickness of just 9.95mm. But here is the thing, it wears like a dream on the wrist. And that's partly due to the side profile. It tucks down toward the wrist with this gentle curve, and that just melts into your skin. And that 12-sided bezel, it's kind of the signature here. It gives off a classic integrated bracelet case design with a modern touch. It's not fully round and not square. It's just kind of doing its own thing. The finishing, that's where the magic really happens. The flings are brushed, the top edges are polished, and there is even some light sandblasting tucked into the hard-to-reach corners. It's layered, it's detailed, but nothing feels overdone. And the way those surfaces interact with light, it's like the case has a pulse of its own. The crown is screwed down, positioned neatly at 3 o'clock, and signed with the Twin Flags logo. It tucks in close to the case alongside those crown guards that look so cool. There is also a sapphire exhibition case back locked down with 6 visible screws. You see the Salida movement inside. While it's not wild in terms of decoration, the engraved rotor with the twin flags does give it a bit of a soul. It's the kind of detail you don't need, but you're glad it's there. But the best part, I haven't even talked about how it plays with the bracelet yet. Now let's talk about this bracelet, because man, it is one of the best integrated designs I've worn in a long time. It starts white, 23mm at the legs, but then gently tapers down to 17mm at the clasp, which makes it wear balanced and sleek. It's not bulky, it's not jangly. The links are single piece, which might sound simple, but it's actually a pretty bold design choice. Most bracelets use multi-part links to cheat that smooth articulation. Here, each piece is shaped just right to move and flex naturally. And that finishing, the same mix of soft satin brushing and subtle polishing from the case carries right into the bracelet. It's water grinded, which gives it this soft texture you notice when you run your fingers over it. It's not rough, not glassy, just right. It's a butterfly clasp, which usually isn't my favorite, but this one's different. Hidden inside is a built-in micro adjustment mechanism. Just a little pull and you've got up to 3 millimeters of on-the-fly adjustment. On a hot day or after a lunch, that adjustability is perfect. There are also, I think, around 6 smaller links to get that perfect fit. The whole bracelet just feels like it was made by someone who wears watches. It wraps cleanly, it moves naturally, and there is no weird rattling or sharp edges. Even the end links are sculpted to match the case curvature. It's one of those beautiful setups that make you forget you're wearing a bracelet at all. And once you pair that comfort with the case's clean architecture lines, it becomes more than just a watch, it becomes part of your everyday rhythm. With that said, guys, this is all for this video. I really appreciate all of you being here. I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care.